Hey, what's going down, everybody? It's FaT TrAk. Breaking down the beat that I made for Ill Se7en's album, Ill Se7en and my album, Earthseed. This track is called Find Me. It's featuring Rolos Rios. Had the pleasure of collaborating throughout this project with a phenomenal musician all across the board. I'm talking about pianos, flute, any instrument. Music mafioso, Felix Fast Forward. Thank you, man. Thank you for coming through. We started this project back in 2020. It was before the lockdown. Seven and I were teaching at a high school with a professor from DU University. He was teaching the kids film, and he's actually a film professor at DU. So the overall project was for the kids to create their own film, record their own film. I was in charge of the background music, and Seven was in charge of writing the songs with the students for the music for their film. We were gonna submit it to Denver Film Festival. Shout out to Esteban. Lo and behold, COVID happened. Lockdown, class got shut down. The kids were picking out different royalty-free samples that I've had in my stash. You know, they got a chance to sit down and listen, and me showing them what I go for in searching for samples, or you know, just the overall feeling of what they wanted to pick. So we ended up, Seven and I ended up just running with this whole project during the lockdown. I was able to sit down and challenge myself. Shout out to EA Ski, Bruce Forat, ended up picking up this 4000 before the lockdown, and then shout out to V-Sonic, ended up picking up this ASR 10 from him. So I sat down and challenged myself to learn the 4000, also to learn the chopping of the ASR 10, almost like how Kanye West does it, you know, where he uses the 2000 or 2000 XL and, you know, chops a sample on the ASR 10. I'm more of an MPC person, but I like chopping on the ASR 10 better than the 4000, even though I can see the waves. That's just me. But the overall sound quality, you know, like what EA Ski was talking about. I even purchased some analog gear. I ran everything through. I chopped everything on the ASR 10, all the samples, and I ended up sequencing with the 4000, and then ended up recording in the Pro Tools with the BAE 1073 analog sound. Shout out again to EA Ski. Then, you know, during the lockdown, Seven would come over, and a couple of the features. Copperstone came over one time. Shout out to Copper. But you know, this is my microphone stand right here, and I'm actually sitting right here. My computer's to the left. Seven would stand right here and record, you know, that way. So all the recordings was done here with Seven and I. I'm gonna go ahead and break down that beat. That's a little backstory. Shout out again to Felix Fast Forward for your musicianship and allowing me to just produce what you was playing, and you know, the collaboration was phenomenal. You know, I had the sample chopped up on the ASR 10, and it was a really fun challenge for me because I was able to not look at the wave, you know, I was just able to look at just the numbers, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was so dope. So let me go ahead and load this So go ahead and load up the beat, or the actual sample chopping on the ASR that I did. It's very simple. Yeah. That's all I did right there. That's it. You know, I just chopped it in the key of C minor. Well, somewhat. So yeah, I chopped it up on there. There's no other sounds on here. And the fun part was just, you know, looking at the numbers right here instead of looking at the wave. You know, I'm so used to an MPC 2000 XL or 2500, even the 4000. But this right here challenged me with the ear, and you know, I really enjoyed chopping on here. You know, shout out to Justo from the Physics for answering all my questions when I got it. That was key for me. So let's go ahead and get into the 4000. So that was chopped up on here for the sample chopping. So I started this joint off with the break beat, just a real simple break beat. So that was the basis of it. Like, I just found a break beat that I did that I liked. You know what I'm saying? And then I just followed the joint up with the kick. Then after that, you know, I found a snare. Very simple. There it is. So that right there is like a clap. So I stacked up. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Then what I did was, yeah, this sound right here. Yeah, I tuned it down -19, so this is what the original sounds like right here. I was like, you know what? Let's get creative with this joint. Let's go down -19. You know, and that right there is, you know, something creative that I recommend that everybody does to their beats. Is mess around with the filters, mess around with the tuning, you know. So you know. So after that, did a ghost kick. You can hear the little ghost kick. Then, you know, you go over here to the ASR and you know what I mean? Something like that right there. So then you just add it in. That was it, you know. So I ended up taking that joint right here and I did a song mode for it in the 4000. So in order to MIDI sequence this, and I learned this from watching Marco Polo, shout out to Marco Polo, but you know, he was like, hey, I always do a kick on the 1, 2, 3, 4 to get the MIDI sync just right. It was my first time tracking with the 4000, first time tracking with the ASR 10, and I wanted to get the MIDI right, you know, so that everything hit on that one in my sequence. So, you know, I did what he said and I recorded that's all I did. And then I was like, you know, that sounds like a really cool intro. Let me go ahead and keep that there. So I like the 4000 too, not only for the sound and the ASR 10 for the sound, but I also like the 4000 because, like the 2500, it allows you to record your track mutes. Recording track mutes to me is like, that's essential. Like, I like, you know, freestyling with it, and then when I track it out, everything in Pro Tools is right there. I mean, I also enjoy chopping in Pro Tools too and shaving out the beat. I actually did that with Felix's piano playing, and I'll show you that next. But yeah, I like when you're able to just mute out certain sections and vibe with the instrumental. You know, Seven actually came over and wrote to this. He didn't even know that I was gonna reach out to Felix just yet. He didn't know that. That was a surprise. So, you know, and I also believe in collaborating, man. It takes your production to the next level. If I can't play guitar, I reach out to my twin brother. If I can't play the keys as well as Felix, then I just reach out to somebody who can, pay him out, you know? This right here will show you the song. See how it's muted? So this is actually all formatted off the 4000. Then I just dropped it in, you know? So whatever's played on the 4000 and recorded in the Pro Tools is what Felix actually received and played to. Can't beat that sound, man. The drums are knocking. The ASR 10 is knocking. You know, when you put it through that analog gear, like those converters, like what EAST says, is true. It took my production to above and beyond, you know? Like, I like the Apollo, but I really love analog gear. And I love these standalone equipments, you know? Not hating on the new stuff, but can't beat the sound. leave the mute to come up right here, and I'll stop it and I'll show you Felix is playing in Pro Tools. There it is. See? Makes it easy. Bring the drums back in. That's it. So, yeah, that's the beauty of it. So we're in Pro Tools right now, and I'll probably come in and break down my mixing process on this whole song, because I did mix it all in-house here. I normally do, and I also, you know, I like to do some automation on different auxiliary sends and stuff like that, and I also shave off certain parts when I feel the need to. You know, you can see where I muted out some parts with the ASR 10, you know, and the drums on the 4000, but that's beside the point. Felix, man, this right here was what I received from Felix, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna bust it all out to the beginning of it, and you can actually hear. Let's see. So I received this via email from Felix, and man, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and produce this song. You know, this right here would take you to, you know, from a beat maker to a producer. And you know, I actually went in and I started shaving out the whole beat, shaving out, you know, and I had it in the 4000 the way I want it, as you can see right here with the MPC 4000. But I also went in here and I did some stuff where I broke down the beat a little bit more. Listen to this playing, man. Like, when I received that, I blew my mind. This blew my mind. Like, the whole project blew my mind, you know, and it just, you know, Seven did his thing for sure, you know, Felix did his thing, all the features did their thing, mastering everything. However, like, for me, as a collaborator with another musician, this was phenomenal. Hearing this was so phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like he just goes off right here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I was in a garden and I put a seed into the soil and waited a few months and something started to grow. It's amazing. You can find me in a garden, time taking, speak with God, plant a seed into the soil.
better days.
And if you living in the moment, God willing moments only, we can elevate our heart in better ways. Well, now I see the light, vision shines so bright. God just give us sight,
Shine bright soul.
Now I see the light, vision shines so bright. God just give us sight, shine bright soul. Had a moment, had a hope.
Yeah, there you have it. That's the breakdown of the Find Me beat off Ill Se7en FaT TrAk, yours truly, our album called Earthseed. You know, I didn't use too many tracks to make the beat, but the sound quality definitely matters. So the ASR 10 paired with the 4000, it's a win-win. On top of that, going into, you know, some analog preamps to track it into your DAW, that's also a win-win. Yeah, highly recommend checking out that album. I'll post a link up somewhere around here. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe. Check out the cooking show, Old Taste and See. This is stuff that I cook, you know. Stuff that I learned how to cook over the years. And also stuff that I'm still learning how to cook. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy cooking up beats. I enjoy, you know, recording, mixing, and production. So yeah, it's all intertwined. Make sure you check it out. You know, I'll put a link up, and like I said before, greatly appreciate the view, greatly appreciate the follow. And if you're so inclined to, go to 1631brand.com. My wife and I got a Saved by Grace 1631 brand t-shirt, hoodies, long sleeves. So check us out sometime, man. Support us. Greatly appreciate it. Be on the lookout for the next one. See you soon. God bless.